What's going on, guys? It's your boy Coach Kane, back again with a part 3 of the Red Pill Talks in the Super Sport, the 2009 Chevy Impala with the V8. I said in my previous video, I don't recommend buying this car unless you have the funds to keep up with the maintenance. But if you do have the funds, I recommend buying the car. It is a good car. The engine lasts. The only thing you will need to get done eventually is the transmissions. When they built the car, originally the original transmissions weren't the best, so you will have to invest some of your money into that. So let's get started with the video. So have you ever been on a night out and you meet a girl and she tells you after an hour of conversation and game that you seem to be putting in so hard that you're not really doing, but you meet her on a night out and she tells you, I don't do sex on the first date. Look, I don't know how experienced some of y'all are, but I am pretty experienced in this area, right? I've been on both sides of the scale. I've been the alpha and I've been the beta. The point of this lesson is women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. And there are guys out there with girlfriends right now that are making them wait for sex. And keep in mind, most women, most of your girlfriends, most of your wives have given up their entire body to men that they did not know. Let that man do whatever he wants to. And then you come along and now she decides she wants to wait to have sex, to give you oral pleasure. She thinks in her head that you are a beta. You do not meet the alpha criteria in her hypergamy. This is the truth. I've been through it. I know some guys that have been through it. I've been on the beta side. I've been on the alpha side. And if I had $1 for every time I heard a woman say, I don't have sex on first dates, I'd be pretty wealthy right now. But anyways, you've probably heard a girl tell you that she doesn't give head, right? And then next thing you know, now we're into the meetup. She's in the car outside the bar, slopping you down, bro, right? Women do this, for one, to protect the reputation. No woman wants to look like a hoe, even if they are a 304, right? So women do say these things to protect their reputation. It's called reputation management. One time, let's get into story time. One time I was with a girl, right? And it was the second meetup. I told her, meet me at a show I was doing when I used to do music. After the show, after the performance, I told her, hey, come out with some friends or whatever. We're going to go hit another bar. And she said, oh, yeah, that's fine. She already said to me it was getting late and she didn't plan on being out too late. And she stated to me that, I'm not going to have sex with you, right? So you can guess how the night ended. Okay, we get back to my place and we're doing the thing, right? I carried that alpha energy at the time. I was performing. We walked into the venue. People knew who I was. My status was there. My value was high. People knew the songs I was performing. So to her, I am above her. And being above her means you are perceived as the alpha. Now, when she stated to me that she's not going to have sex with me on the first night or whatever, all I said was, it's cool. I wasn't expecting to have sex with you to begin with. I wasn't expecting to have sex with you to begin with. That's exactly what I said. And then we end up having sex. Okay? Learn that take that away as a piece of game. Okay? For the younger guys. Don't ever pressure her into having sex with you. That's lame. It just makes her uncomfortable. Women want to feel uncomfortable. Women want to feel comfortable when it comes to intimate situations. They're never going to do anything when they feel uncomfortable. And they're not going to do anything when they perceive you as a beta male, as somebody beneath her. She's going to make up a set of rules. For instance, a beta man might get into this situation and she'll say, I don't have sex on the first night, right? And he might be like, what do you mean? I brought you out here, I bought you drinks or whatever, and you're not going to do any of these things? Really just doing lame shit, bro. Trying to make excuses, trying to really get the pussy. He might even say, but I'm a feminist. I'm a feminist. I agree with anything feminists say. I agree with everything you say. I have this in common with you also. Just the whole spiel of beta things that could be said, right? And eventually he's going to end up paying money numerous times on these expensive dates, maybe 8 expensive dates before she actually gives it up to him. You know what I'm saying? She's going to use this man for his resources because that's what betas are made for. Betas are men that allow women to use them for their resources. You know what I mean? Back to the topic of the video. Women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. Like I said, your girlfriend, your wife, if she's made you wait, or if you're in a new relationship and she's making you wait for sex, and let's say she's 22, she's already been to college, or she's already had a fucking warehouse job. We all know what happens, what goes down there, right? She's already been, pounded out from some one night stands before, and then makes you wait for sex. Or she might even give you sex and not give you head. Knowing damn well last week, when she was at the bar with the girls, she went back to the crib with Chad, Tyrone, Julio Ranchero, slapped that man down, gave him everything that he was wanting, right? If you're in that situation, you need to state to these women that we do not negotiate desire, okay? More than likely, she will, just saying that statement, right? She will put you in the alpha status. If she says, I don't do sex on the first date or whatever, and you just tell her straight up, I don't really negotiate desire. We're adults. I mean, it's cool. It's fine with me, completely fine with me. I don't care if you want to have sex or not. But this will be the last time we are having this meetup, having a date, because I'm not, you're not going to be putting in all this time and effort and money and being used like a chump, for her to give you some mediocre missionary, bro, and that comes back to how you think of yourself, right? Because if you think of yourself as a higher value man just to begin with, that's where it all starts. It starts in the mind. If you think of yourself as a higher value man to begin with, and you come across these type of women who perceive you as a beta or even try to test you to see if you're a beta or alpha, the test won't be as hard. If you think it and you implement these thinkings and these teachings that I'm giving you and that a lot of other content creators are giving you, and you apply them, you more than likely will not fail. Women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. Do not fall into that category of a beta to where you're wasting your time, money, and resources on a woman that's not reciprocated, okay? And if that's the case, she probably doesn't even have a strong desire for you anyway, right? We want to choose women that choose us. And if she's not choosing you, and this is a clear sign that she's not choosing you, is when she's making you wait, she's making you jump through all these hoops just to get it. When last summer in Miami, nobody was jumping through hoops. Chad wasn't jumping through hoops. Tyrone wasn't jumping through hoops. Julio Ranchero was not jumping through hoops. These guys were in and out, and she was letting them willingly. You understand what I'm saying? It all starts up here. Okay, it all starts up here. Women, I'm going to keep saying this so it sticks in your head. You need to put this in your head. I don't make the rules. This is just a pure fact. I've been through it. I'll even go into another story. There was one time I met a girl at a bar in Dallas, right? And, we were cool. The game was right. Out on the dance floor, she was grinding on me heavy, touching me and everything, bro, right? And at the end of the night, this is my mistake. I asked her, can I get a kiss? I wasn't asking for nothing more. I wasn't asking to, come back with me and, we can do some other things. No, all I asked was for a simple kiss. And she said, you have to take me on a date first. I don't really know you like that. You know what I mean? So what did I do? Being the beta that I used to be, I got in contact with her, ended up taking her on a date. I asked for another kiss after the date, and all it was just a peck. And she was like, that's all you get, right? And then even further into the fucking, dating relationship or whatever, it would be a time where she came over to my place. I cooked for her, gave her my best cooking skills, salmon with, the lemon or whatever, asparagus. And we get to the end of the night of that situation. We start, making out on the couch. And, I was, going for sex. And she says, no, we have to wait. It's only the first date. I don't give it up until the third date, I think she said. Bro, these are real life situations, bro, right? Later on to the relationship, right? I caught this woman with condoms in her purse. We weren't using condoms at the time when we eventually did have sex, right? And you know what she told me when I found these condoms? Well, I used to, party a lot and go out a lot, and these were just in case something ever happens. You know what I mean? You get what I'm telling you, right? At the time, she didn't perceive me as the alpha man for her to give it up, right? She started making rules for me based on the value and status that I mentally had for myself. I put in time, money, effort, resources into this woman, again, just to get the mediocre missionary that she was allowing me to do. But she just stated to me clear and directly that she had condoms in her purse just in case she got into one night stands. Do you see the games that these women will play with you, right? And you cannot fall for that trap. You can't fall for that trap. You have to catch these things. If she's in the club with you, grinding, touching on your shit, bro, and you go in for a kiss and she says, no, wait, you gotta take me on a date. Bro, she has condoms in her purse for the one night stands. She has condoms in the purse for the one night stands, bro. You're just not the one. You're not alpha enough, bro. And if you're getting a lot of these, bro, it's something that you have to do to change and alter your mindset, bro. And think of yourself as more than what you are. And you do that by going to the gym, by eating right, reading books, applying yourself to knowledge and better health for yourself. Then it starts to transition. You look at yourself in the mirror and you see what you have become. And you start to see what you could be. And that person is the alpha man that you could be. And along the journey, you eventually become that man. And now you can start looking at yourself as that man. So that when you go out and you meet these women and they say things like, I don't do that on the first date, you go about it like you don't give a fuck. Because you already think up here that there are women that will give it up on the first date. So that means go back the next week. Or maybe hit up one of the ones in the roster, in the lineup, who you know will. And that goes into another thing. You have to have options, bro. You have to have options. So that way you don't end up putting all your eggs in one basket into one woman who's gonna play you and use you. She's getting this stuff for free and you're getting nothing. You're paying for food for her. You're going out on dates. You're wasting your gas, okay? And there's certain women that you actually can do this for and should do this for, but women like this, you do not do that for, all right? Women like that, you don't do that for. If you're already, especially if you're meeting her at a club, okay, that has to be a standard as well. But you need to stay on the journey, focus on you for as long as you can, become the best version of you. And then when it's time to go out and approach women, when rejection happens, you won't give a fuck. It doesn't matter to you because you know in here that there's more out here. There's, I don't know, 7 billion women in the world. You know up here, you're just like, oh, okay, fuck it. Oh, that's cool. And you don't even bother texting her. You don't bother calling her. You don't bother with anything. If you get a number, bro, if you act like that, eventually she will call you and, ask you to come out or go out or whatever, or even ask you if she can come over. And then you get it, you get in and you get out because those aren't the women we want long-term with, right? This might sound, what do you call it? Hedonistic, which in a way it is hedonistic to run around sleeping with women, but it's just knowing the difference, right? And the women that are going to use you and the women that actually desire you. The women that use you and the women that desire you. You have to go about these things like you do not give a fuck. You have to go about these things like you have better options out there, right? You don't want to stress her. You don't want to pressure her to do anything. That's what it comes down to. You don't want to pressure her to do anything. If she says no, leave it at that, bro. Leave it at that and let it go. Women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. I do not make the fucking rules, bro. Another quick story. Just because these are real life situations that have happened to me, right? I've gotten with a girl and we were dating, we were having sex or whatever. And it comes down to the point where she just willingly gives me head. And then after I'm done, she says, I've never done this before, right? Whether she was insecure about, maybe she actually didn't do it before, right? And she was insecure about it and I thought like she was pleasing me bad. Like she didn't know what she was doing when she kind of did, you know what I mean? But later on down the road, right? After she said these things to me, after that situation happened, later on down the road, there was another guy involved that wasn't taking her out on dates, that wasn't doing anything for her, that was having sex with the girl that I was seeing. And then come to find out, I had sex with her the next day after he had sex with her. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like that's what she was capable of. That's what these women are capable of. She had sex with him, this dude that wasn't doing anything for her, wasn't taking her on dates, wasn't spending money on her at all. She just let him hit. And then I'm the guy on the side, the beta, that yes, I'm still having sex, but there's like a line, right? There was like no respect whatsoever. Lets me hit the day after, bro. Probably less than 24 hours, right? And then gives me oral pleasure and then tells me that she's never done this before. Bro, I'm not an idiot. And women will play you for an idiot if you let them, okay? They will play you for an idiot. Guys, transition your mind to being the alpha man that you can be. Hit the gym, eat right, do the things that you need to do regardless of how you feel, and continue on the journey. All right, that's it for the video, guys. It's your boy, Coach Kane. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with a homie who needs to hear this.